What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be reviewing the V19 Torrent Starfighter. Given set number 75432, it has 567 pieces as well as a retail of $64.99 in the US with 3 unique minifigures. Taking a look at the back of the box, we can see our minifigures in a duel with Obi-Wan Ventress as well as our clone pilot and as well as some different play features featured throughout this build. But let's start by taking a look at our minifigures, being the clone pilot, Obi-Wan Kenobi as well as Ventress. Starting off with our clone pilot, this is the brand new Phase 1 clone pilot that we have seen in this set. And starting off with the helmet, I think it does look very good. It has some great printing, especially on the top half with the yellow and the red highlights. A couple of people were a little bit upset with the overall shaping. I saw some people complaining that it was more egg-shaped versus helmet-shaped, but I think putting that aside, I think it still does look very good. It may be a little bit bigger than some of the other clone helmets, but I think it has some great shaping as well as some great printing. Not to mention how detailed the mold is, especially when you look at this minifigure from the side. You can see all of the different details in on the side of the helmet. And as we come around up top, you can see your printing once again, as well as the different printing on the top of the helmet. And while the torso and leg printing is pretty generic, it definitely does get the job done. I especially like the breathing apparatus with all the different buttons printed on top, especially in the top right corner with the green. I think adds a very nice highlight and contrast to the rest of the white torso. However, other than that, it is pretty much just your basic Phase 1 Clone Trooper design, which I think looks great. I will say when we flip this Clone Trooper around to the back, the lack of printing or detailing definitely does come through. I'm not sure if they would have been able to print anything here, especially on the back of the helmet, but it does just look a little bit plain. But overall, I think this is a great minifigure. And next up, we have our Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this minifigure is amazing. Starting off as we look toward the face, we have a pretty generic Obi-Wan face. This one's a little bit more angry, and he also has his alternate face, which is a bit of a smile, but I love the beard printing as well as the Clone Wars styled hair. But where this minifigure shines through is with all of the different printing, starting off on the torso, which does look amazing with the Clone Wars armor at the top coming down to the robe, as well as all of the printing throughout the belt. There's just so much detail plastered all throughout this minifigure. And the printing on the torso seamlessly transitions to the printing on the waist as well as the legs with the little cloth coming down over the clone armor, and I think it just looks amazing. Now, something that I want to bring up is that my minifigure unfortunately came pretty damaged out of the box. I don't really know why. It has a lot of these like marks as well as dents all over, and it's really unfortunate, but this isn't something that I've seen frequently happen to other people. It's just something worth bringing up. I guess this one got damaged, which kind of sucks, but is what it is, I guess. And now as we move on to the best part of this minifigure being the arm printing, starting off on his left arm, we have the Jedi logo up on top in this nice red coloring. We have a couple of kind of detailing for the Clone Wars kind of style of armor, as well as having the comlink printed on toward the wrist. And all of this different printing comes along amazingly, and it just all goes together so well, making this look so good on this minifigure, and I just love the arm printing. But let's move on to the next arm. And onto the next arm, you have the little like clone comlink control panel toward the wrist. Unfortunately, no Jedi Order symbol up there either, but that makes sense as it is only on his one arm. But it does still look very good, and the printing just looks great on both of these arms and makes this a great minifigure. And lastly, as we look toward the back, we once again have some pretty nice printing and detailing with the clone armor moving down to the robes as well as the belt. I will say that this probably would have been a perfect minifigure if it just had dual molded legs. It looks very awkward from the back, having the white coloring and none of the tan. Doesn't flow as well as it did on the front, but I have to say overall this is a great minifigure and definitely one of, if not the best Obi-Wans that we've ever seen from Lego. And lastly, we have our Saj Ventress, and this minifigure looks very good. Starting off with our face print, I have to say the purple tattoos look very good on top of the white kind of coloring. I will say the pupilless eyes don't bother me so much on this minifigure as I thought they were going to. I will say probably would have looked better with some pupils, but definitely isn't the end of the world, and the overall face print looks very good. Next, we have our printing on the torso as well as the legs, which I think looks great in this kind of fuchsia purple coloring. I saw a couple people complaining about this color, but personally, I think it works very well for this minifigure, and I do love the contrast of like the gray wraps on the torso as well as the legs, and I think it looks very good with that purple coloring. And we do have that kind of wrap detailing all over, even on the toes of the minifigure and the lower leg, as well as the middle section of the torso. and I think it turned out great. And as we flip around to the back of the minifigure, you have some, once again, nice tattoo detailing on the back of the head, and the back of the torso has some nice printing coming along with how it did on the front. I will say the legs do look quite a bit bare. Same problem with the Obi-Wan, that definitely would have been fixed with some dual molded legs. But overall, I have to say that this Ventress is a great minifigure, and she even comes with her iconic shaped lightsabers. Now, this set definitely went 3 for 3 in terms of the minifigures, but let's move on and take a look at the build. Now, looking at our V19 Torrent, it has a very sleek and compact build, and there definitely is quite a lot of detail packed in throughout this model given the small size, and overall, I think it does look very good. Now, as we move along, you can see all of the different shapes and detailing that comes in to bring this whole model together, as well as having some nice contrast with the maroon as well as the white pieces. And I have to say that the yellow cockpit brings this whole thing together. Now, we do have a couple of stickers, the first two being on the front kind of turbine of the engines, and I think they look great to bring the whole scheme together. We also have the Republic logo as well as some small detailed pieces on the sides of the wings. And love them or hate them, I think that these both look very good, and all the stickers come together to make a very nice model. Now, the front of the build does look very good, especially in its landed position, but as we flip along to the back, there's definitely a little bit of a flaws. We do have the turbines or engines in the back made up of these long black cylinders with a little bit of a trans-blue piece at the end, which I do think look very good. We also have the third one on the back of the main wing, and while the main wing does have a very nice design, it is definitely a little bit too short in my opinion, but it's definitely very sleek and detailed. But I can't really say that about the other side. Now, unfortunately with Lego, one side of the plates do not look as good as the other side, so we are left with this kind of bare looking side when it comes to the left side of this model. Moving on, we have our blasters mounted on either wing with a pretty sleek design. You have your main kind of gun coming out in the middle, as well as a stud shooter on top that fires off just fine. A nice feature. I don't think it takes away too much as the stud shooters do in some other builds, but it is definitely a very easy thing to remove. Next up, we have our cockpit in this very nice yellow piece that I was complimenting earlier, and inside we have a pretty spacious interior. You have your main section with some studs to sit your minifigure, and you even have a nice stickered computer to fly around your V19. And once you have your cockpit opened up, you can fit your clone pilot minifigure in there just fine. There's a lot of room and he can sit down on these studs, and you can close it right back up behind him, and he looks so good through that trans clear yellow piece. And overall, I have to say the main portion of this ship looks amazing with all of these sleek designs coming together around the cockpit. And now as we look toward the detailing on the wing, it just all comes together so well, and the overall shaping and all of the tiles that went into getting this overall shape just looks so good, and I think that this was definitely captured very well by Lego. And next up, we have our main play feature on the hull of the V19 Torrent, which is the ability to move your wings into the attack position. Now, as for these side wings, they are connected on these little ball joints that make them very easy to move up and down, and as for the back wing, it just clips into these small clip pieces. As you can see on the bottom, we have our clip that goes into the rod, and you just push it down and it holds it in place very nicely, and it's actually a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. This set is very sturdy. You can pretty much hold it from wherever you would like other than the backs of the engines, but I have found that holding it in the middle wing at the bottom is the best way to kind of swoosh it around and play with it. I've not had any issues of it falling. You can hold it upside down, you can fold it anywhere really, and then when you are done, you can just fold it right back up and all the wings will clip right back into place and you can land your ship once again. And this is just such a fun play feature. You can flip it around, kind of make whatever configuration you want, but I think it does look best in its kind of attack configuration. But there is one downside to the attack configuration, which is it does leave this kind of back part of the wing looking pretty bare and unfortunate. It's not the end of the world, but it just doesn't look as good as it could have in my opinion, and I wish that they had done something to change that. But you can just clip your wings right back into place and then fold these side ones up, and it's a very fun play feature and it works pretty much flawlessly. I will say the set does look a little bit underwhelming when it is landed, especially for display, but there is a way to display this in the attack configuration. I don't know if this is an actual feature, but if you put it, you can kind of just line it up if you balance it on the middle wing as well as one of these side wings, and this looks so much better. I don't know if this is something that would have much longevity on a shelf. I don't know if the wings would give in over time or anything like that, but I think it does look a lot better like this. Now, I do have to say at the end of the day that this is a very good set. Now, coming in at a $65 retail, it definitely is a little bit on the pricier side, especially in 2025 with a lot of our our LEGO Star Wars sets, especially the summer sets, being very overpriced. However, I feel like this is probably more fair priced than a couple of the other ones that we have seen this year. And while I normally do advise everyone to wait for sets to go on sale and not buy them at full price, and I would still do the same with this set because I feel like $65 is a little bit on the pricey side, I still think it does have some very good value. I think the 3 minifigures are very, very good. Now, ideally, yours aren't going to come damaged like my Obi-Wan did, but I think the 3 minifigures are definitely great, and the build is a lot of fun, and it does look very good, but it is a little bit small and underwhelming for a $65 price tag, but this will be one that will definitely be 20% off in a couple of months, so I feel like if you wanted to wait, that would be the perfect time to get it at that 20% discount. But I do think this set is great. If you do buy it at full price, I don't think it is too badly overpriced at that price point, but I think that it has a lot of fun play features, like I said, some great minifigures, so at the end of the day, I think this is a very solid set and definitely one of the better of the summer sets. But let me know down below in the comment section of this video what you guys think about this set and what your thoughts are on the price, and if it's one that you'll be picking up day one or waiting to go on sale. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. True, signing out.